Hi guys. Whoa. Hello. I I am kind of like a little nervous to make this video because I don't know, it's a little I don't know. I just got home from work and stuff, so I'm trying to, what is that? Okay, I'm trying to like regulate, and I don't know, I'm trying to like, okay, there's a stain here and you're just gonna see it when I go like this and stuff, and you're just gonna have to deal with it because I don't know what to do with it. I'm in a little bit of a weird spot because I'm like right in front of my window, but also I'm like leaning against my bed, so it's not like the most comfortable, and I'm not really like in the middle. I'm kind of more on the side because I feel like my neighbors are watching me film this and I'm a little nervous. So I don't know, I'm like, should I move? But this was like the spot that I'm like, I think it looks all right, so we're just kind of gonna go with it and hopefully it's okay with you. I actually kind of want you a little closer. I wonder if I can go. Just all of these spots look awkward for some reason. I accidentally turned on my air purifier. You don't want to hear that noise. Oh my god, I don't know what's going on. Okay, maybe if I turn. I also got a new phone too, so it's a little different, and I'm kind of like sweating, so, and I hate sweating. I'm a little nervous to make this video today because I don't know, it's really nerve-wracking. I feel like I share a lot of my life on the internet and stuff, and I am happy to do that because I feel like it helps other people and stuff, and if I don't do anything with the things I've gone through, what's the point? I feel like either just stays trapped with my therapist and I, just never gets out anywhere, or, you know, I always think like, you know, when I'm going through something that it could like help someone else if I talk about it. And so instead of like keeping it in and stuff, I like to talk about it, right? And so I guess I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about like my experience and stuff. I am neurodivergent. I don't know if you guys know what that is, and I'm just gonna assume that nobody does, or everyone's clueless or something. And I'm just gonna like explain to you what that is, and I actually want to tell you something kind of funny about it, and I'm not even gonna explain anymore. I'm just gonna kind of talk, and then you just gonna have to deal with it. Okay, neurodivergency is basically when someone's brain kind of thinks a little bit differently from most people that don't have like autism, ADHD. I think even like dyslexia is part of that as well. They are called neurotypicals, and if you have seen Love on the Spectrum, it does kind of mention that a little bit. Honestly, like, say what you want about Love on the Spectrum. I'm just gonna sit on a pillow because this is like really uncomfortable. Say what you want about the show. I just like dropped all my crochet hooks on the floor. You just love that. Say what you want about the documentary. Or like the show. I don't know if anyone has like ever said anything, you know, negative about it, really. I think it's actually pretty cool that, you know, people on the spectrum and stuff can like kind of talk about their experiences and stuff. I don't know, I just feel like it's so real, and it's so like, it's just amazing, and I like seeing it. And it's actually funny because the new season just came out actually, and I'm gonna watch it soon. But it's like funny because now, like, that I was diagnosed on the spectrum and stuff, like, it's just like it's really funny, I guess, to kind of like be watching it now, understanding that like that's me too. I think I always kind of related to them, but I was like, well, maybe that's just like, I was never a type to like kind of like self-diagnose myself, or I never really like wanted to consider myself as autistic until I knew for sure that like I was. Even now, like, it's still kind of weird to say that I am, because like it just feels like, I think when you're diagnosed with anything and stuff, it's kind of hard to like associate yourself with it, because then you're like, oh, like this is what I am now. Or I don't know why, for some reason it just feels like this is what I am now, even though it's always been that way. It's just now there's a name to it so that you don't have to like be confused on what that is. And so I feel like it's weird. It's a weird feeling. I think it kind of gives me imposter syndrome just a little bit, and it's just weird for me sometimes. I guess like what I wanted to talk about and stuff was like, I guess like how I got diagnosed and stuff, why I thought I had to get diagnosed or anything like that, just kind of like my experience with it and stuff, because I feel like it's kind of interesting, and also I know that there's a lot of people out there that probably might have the same thoughts as me and stuff, and maybe you can get answers through that, and if that makes you feel better, hopefully. If not, you know, that's something you're probably just gonna have to accept about yourself. I don't know. How it looks differently in so many people, and how it truly is a spectrum. I obviously you know, you could really fall wherever you do on it. So I was just diagnosed not too long ago. I was diagnosed by my therapist. So my therapist actually also, she's a therapist, but before she was a therapist, she was a psychiatrist, which are the people that can, like, you know, give you medication and stuff, and that could also diagnose you with things. I had first, actually, let me backtrack. So last year, I believe it was, I got diagnosed with ADHD, which I was like, yes, that is me. Yeah, to the T. Like, I didn't really have any, I really didn't think I wasn't, you know? I mean, I should rephrase that. I didn't think that I had anything at all. Like, I didn't think I was ADHD, like, which is ADHD and autism together. I did not think that any at all whatsoever about myself. I think it's because, like, a lot of the behaviors, a lot of the way that my brain works, the way that I've said things and the way that I do things and stuff is always how I've done them. So I never really saw anything strange about those things. I noticed a few things about myself, like how I felt like I was constantly trying to fit in, and no matter how hard I tried, I never truly felt like I did. Or I always felt like I was performing in some type of way, and I also felt like there was always some joke I wasn't getting, whether that's like literally or figuratively. Yeah, whether it's like either or, like I didn't get a joke that someone was saying, or I just or I just didn't know what was going on, you know. So I think it's hard. I've been with my therapist for like, I think I've been with her for like 2 years now, I believe so. I think 2 or 3 years, I can't remember. I have really complex trauma and stuff like that, and I've kind of talked about it a little bit on this channel. I don't know if I really have like gone super in depth, which also none of your business. I made a video not too long ago for, you know, Sexual Assault Awareness Month, which is this month, April, which also this month is Autism Awareness or Autism Acceptance month or something like that. And so I thought it was really just kind of cool because I'm like part of both of those groups, and that's like awesome. I don't know, that's amazing, I guess, you know. It's really nice at times to just be able to like help other people that are going through it and stuff. So yeah, that's kind of what I mean about it, but you guys know what I mean, okay? Like, words are sometimes hard, but okay, whatever. Anyways, I was diagnosed with it not too long ago, and I was already diagnosed with ADHD like a year ago. I take meds for ADHD, I take Adderall and stuff like that, and I really feel like it has changed my life for the better. Definitely have way more patience now, and I'm just way more nice than I used to be. I feel like I used to get super upset when people didn't know what was going on, or I just like didn't agree with someone. Like I was a hot-headed person, but now that I'm like medicated and stuff, and I know what my brain, like why my brain thinks certain things and why I react certain ways, I think I've changed for the better. There's so many examples I can give you, I guess. Like when I was in cheerleading and when I was in speech and stuff, those were things I felt very passionate about because I liked those things. And when I like something, I really like it, and I feel very passionate and strong about it. So if there is someone who insults it, or if there's someone that doesn't take it as seriously as I do, or I feel like doesn't like it as much as I do, or whatever, and so therefore wasting my time, I will get very upset with that person. And I was a cheer captain, you know, when I was in school and stuff, and I feel like the reason why it was so hard to work with sometimes, I think, from like my other teammates' perspectives and stuff, because I'm not self-aware. I know that I could be a little bit too much at times, and I think that was just because I knew a lot of people didn't like it as much as I did and stuff, so I would kind of go off on them, like, yeah. And people with autism and stuff have a very strong sense of justice. They if they really believe in something, like if they believe in something, they really believe in it and stuff, and it's like there's no changing their mind. And that's definitely something I deal with a lot, but I've been trying to be a little bit more open-minded and stuff, especially not being like disrespectful when someone thinks differently than I do, or they like different things than I do, like, or they don't like the things I like. I try to be very respectful because I realize that not everybody likes the same things, and you know, that makes sense. I didn't understand that for the longest time, so I was like, well, it's just with them, they're dumb then, like, you know, like they just don't understand and they'll never like it the way I like it, like, you know. But it's like, well, we have to be, you know, kind to people and nice to people and understand that not everyone's gonna like the same things that we like, and that's okay, because we are all different as individuals, and if we were all the same, then I guess it would be kind of boring, as you know, kind of what people say. So I try to understand that now, and especially working with children and stuff, I think I've learned to be a little bit more calm and a little bit more patient and stuff for people that other people do not have that patience for. I try to just be really understanding and stuff, because I understand what it's like to be in both of those positions. I understand what it's like to like be the person that doesn't get what's going on and is upset that they don't, and then I understand the person that gets mad at that person. So I think because I have so much empathy towards other people and stuff, and I can see everyone's perspectives and stuff in a grand way, I feel like that's why I'm able to be so successful at my job. I love my job, and I think it's great, and it's actually really funny because like I work with kids that have special needs and stuff, and a majority of them are on the spectrum, and that's not something that's like not well known, because like, well, yeah, I mean, they have special needs or in special ed, like obviously some of them have autism or ADHD or whatever, like that's just kind of what comes with the job. And never minded working with them or anything like that. It never was anything I was really ever like, oh my gosh, this is such a burden on me, you know, whatever. Like I never understood that, but I realized that I actually got along with autistic autistic children way more than I thought I would. I thought that like I wasn't gonna be good with them for some reason. I think because like I had such hard beliefs about things, and like when they wouldn't agree with me, then I'd be like, you know, why do you not agree with me? Like, you know what I mean? So I feel like we would butt heads and stuff. And actually because we both follow rules and we both understand how things are supposed to be, it's easier for me to kind of bond with them. I think it's actually harder for me to get along with ADHD kids because we're so alike in so many ways. But when we are very much like someone, sometimes we find that we actually don't like them because they actually are very alike to us, and especially it's like the part that we don't necessarily like about ourselves. And I feel like that's why I don't necessarily like agree sometimes with ADHD kids. Like I don't see eye to eye with them sometimes because they are so impulsive, but I realize that like that's me off my meds, you know. But I think because I have the privilege of being on them and stuff, and also being older and knowing better and stuff, like that's why it's easier for me and stuff. So I understand that, so that's why I try to have more patience with them, because I realize like I know what it's like to go through that, and I know what it's like to not be on meds and to be mean to people sometimes, like, and not necessarily mean to, but it's just kind of like an impulsion where it's just like out of nowhere you're just like, ah, like, you know what I mean? I don't care about you, why you know what I mean? Like I understand that, I definitely get it. And so I could see just every point of view. Like if I have any advice to people that are kind of like looking for answers and stuff, and that want to get diagnosed or want to like get an assessment and stuff like that, I think you should by all means, I think you should do it no matter what. I think it was really hard for me at first, because when I first got diagnosed with ADHD and stuff, it was really upsetting for me, because I felt like I had gone through my life on hard mode for no reason, and it felt like I'd wasted so much time, and I was failed in so many ways. And I was, but it wasn't necessarily those people's fault, which is something that I had to kind of realize, that it was nobody's really fault. It was more of like people just not understanding the situation and stuff. And I think working at a school and stuff like that has like helped me understand that point of view of like, it's not that those teachers and stuff didn't want to help you, it was just also like, think about the conditions that we put teachers in and stuff. Like we have them in these very overstimulating, very chaotic classes, and we have all these behaviors and everything like that, and they're trying to help as many people as they can, and sometimes those kids that are very quiet and that are doing what they're supposed to be doing get blindsided, you know, like they don't get help like the other kids that are having behaviors, because it's so hard to like manage a classroom when there's so many behaviors going on and you're trying to teach, you know. So I totally get it. That's what I had to go through. I think I had to like see it for myself, because I think I wasn't going to be able to like understand that just being told that, you know, but like actually physically going through it instead of being like, oh, okay, I can definitely see how that actually would have been a challenge and stuff, and how that person was actually trying their best, or they're actually doing more for me than they actually were showing, you know, and they really were trying with me and stuff. I was a very quiet kid at times, and also I was a very high masking autistic child and stuff, so like I feel like that's why it was not right in front of their faces, so it was really hard for people to pick that up. I mean, I'm so good at masking. I'm amazing at it. Well, actually, it was trial and error and stuff. I actually made all the wrong decisions before I realized what was more digestible for other people and stuff. And then I just watched other people, and I realized that I had to be a certain way for people to accept me and to like me and want to be friends with me and stuff. I learned how to behave in a society that wasn't built for me. So when I had found out I was autistic and stuff, I was also autistic, it was really hard for me, because I had been hiding who I really was for so long, and now I didn't have to do that, like, because I had the explanation of why I am the way I am. Because I wasn't like diagnosed for the longest time, like I resonated with people that had autism, but I never like self-diagnosed myself. I never like claimed it, because I was not officially diagnosed. So to me it was not real until I, you know, like it wasn't right. That's not correct unless I actually get diagnosed. That's when I can actually say that I can be autistic. I now know that I don't have to hide who I am and stuff. Like if I want to, I don't have to mask 24/7. I can actually like be who I want to be and stuff, and I can be weird, and I can like the things that I want to like, and I can act certain ways, you know what I mean? Like if I really want to do that, I don't need to hide it anymore, and I don't need to like push it down and say like that's not a big deal and stuff, because that's how meltdowns happen. It's like from masking for so long and saying that everything's okay and whatever, and then finally it just explodes. Like you just explode, because you're like, I'm so tired of acting like it's okay, and it's not okay. It actually really bugs me, and I hate how people are talking so loud, and I hate how my clothes feel, and I hate my brain, and I wish I was a different person. So those are all things I've thought about myself. I mean, like a lot, you know what I mean? And I guess I just didn't understand that like that's just who I am, you know? I can't do anything about that, but there's also a very beautiful side of it. I think instead of feeling so bad about it and, you know, pointing out all my flaws and stuff, and saying how I'm different and stuff, like I have to try to start being kinder to myself and being nicer to myself and saying nicer things, because I don't deserve to be talked to like that, especially by myself, because my brain and my head is where I'm my body, I'm in that 24/7. It's not like I can just remove myself from that. So therefore, if I am telling myself those things, then obviously I'm going to feel like I'm trapped and no one understands me and stuff, because I don't even want to understand myself or try to understand myself. I just gotta be kinder to myself. And I just gotta understand that I'm trying my best, and also make accommodations for myself. Like if I really just can't one day because I'm so overstimulated and I don't know if I will be able to go to work without breaking down, that is my right. That is my choice as someone that is, I guess, disabled. Like I guess you could say, you know, mentally disabled, I guess, whatever. That's things I have to live with. Those are things I have to live with. If I need to miss work because I physically cannot get out of bed because of like the burnout I'm experiencing, like I cannot do anything about that. But be kind to myself and tell myself, you know what? We're not gonna go to work today, because I need to calm myself down. I need to be able to like help myself, because if I can't, how am I gonna help other people? And it's just gonna be terrible for me, you know? I never want to be mean to my kids because of things that are going on with me, and I never want to like break down and
have a meltdown for a reason that's, you know what I mean? Like I did that to myself, you know, I did that to myself of letting myself get to that point, which I understand that sometimes it can't really be managed. Like sometimes it's hard to not do that, but it's like I have to see those cues and I have to realize that my body is telling me that I cannot do it and that I do not want to do it and I will not be able to, and I need to just listen to that. Jobs and all of that, they will always be there, and there's also jobs that are more accommodating towards people on the spectrum than not, and it's better to find those types of jobs so that you're not burning yourself out and all of that. Sorry, I got this UV lamp. Actually, it's just like for my nails. Sorry, this is so random, but if you want to get diagnosed, please do that. Please do that. Please be medicated. Take your medication. Your medication helps you. I've been taking Adderall for so long now that when I'm at a certain point, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't need to take them anymore. I'm cured. No, honey. The pills are working. Still take them, actually. You know, it's actually, they're good for you. For your brain. Take them, please. Getting medicated for my ADHD was like the best thing I could have done for myself. That was self-care. That was self-care, okay? Because you know how many things I've accomplished? You know how many things I've done because of it? And you know how productive I am at work and just like all this, like I'm able to like actually be a person for people in my life. Like I was never able to do that, but like before I was never able to show up the way that I do now. And that's amazing, and that's a beautiful thing, and you can thrive and be someone on the spectrum. You can thrive and you can have all of those things. You just gotta be more accommodating to yourself, and you gotta know when to ask for, you know, to be able to take a step back and be like, you know what, like I'm not gonna pretend like I'm not uncomfortable with what's going on. I'm not gonna pretend like I know what's going on when I don't know what's going on. It's okay to ask for help, and that's all right, you know, and it's okay to stim, and it's okay to, you know, do all those things. Like that's okay. It's not hurting anyone. I think people are just so judgmental, and people don't understand that people think differently and they regulate differently. It's like people get so uncomfortable when something's different, but I'm sorry, like I'm just not sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry whatsoever. Like, you know, like if people can't look at you in the eye and stuff when they're talking, you know, that making you upset is just a very crazy thing to make you upset. I think people need to start looking into themselves and how they can be better people and more accommodating to those people in their life that are a little different. That's how it came to be that I got diagnosed and stuff, because my therapist and I actually had been on the fence about it for the longest time of like, you know, I think you might have it, but I'm not really sure, because trauma changes your brain, especially if it's very complex trauma like how I dealt with and stuff. It alters your brain chemistry. Like it makes you think in a totally different way. And I'm going through like EMDR right now, which is basically like unlearning all of those bad like thoughts, behaviors and stuff, so that I can become a better person and also just become a healed person. You know, she wasn't really sure if it was more me just being traumatized or if it was me like actually being autistic. And so then we actually found like, yeah, no, like you are, girl, you are. So yeah. This video, I did want to talk about some things that make me autistic, or like why I am autistic, like reasons of like how we got to that point. But I honestly don't even feel like doing that, because I don't need to explain to the internet why I actually am autistic. Because so many people make the statement of like, you don't look autistic, you don't look like someone that's autistic, and that is crazy to me. What are you talking about? I feel like I was gonna do that, and I'm actually not gonna do it, because I think now I'm just trying to not explain myself to people. If I stim and if I do all these weird whatever that you think is weird, yeah, maybe it's weird, whatever, I'm just gonna do it anyways, and I'm not gonna explain to you unless you like ask or something. Sure, maybe I'll tell you, you know what I mean, but I'm not gonna explain it to you. Be who you are and stuff, and don't explain it to other people, because literally it does not matter. A rock. We live on a rock. Life is not that serious. It is really not that serious. If you would like me to talk about my interest, I can make another video about that, okay? And I could show you my interest and my really cool stuff, and I will, and that'll probably be a really fun video. But for today, I really just wanted to talk more about just my diagnosis and stuff and how life's been. All my family is very understanding and accepting about it. They have been known. They have known this about me, girl. You know how many times I've been called autistic by my family? Like, they're like, yeah, you probably are. Like, let's be honest. Girl, they already knew. You know how people are like, I don't know if my family like accepts that about me, which is really sad, by the way, and I really, I'm sorry for those people. In my case, it was like, yeah, okay, we already knew. They're like, oh, what are you talking about? Like, you're actually like so chill. And it runs in my family. It actually does run in my family. A lot of people, and some conservatives actually say, some really racist, right-leaning people have said, well, and this really dumb blonde person on the internet, I'm not even gonna say her name, Emily, I think that's her name, but I don't know her last name. She said, like, why are people autistic? Why are more people autistic? I don't really understand. And then you like pass it on to your kids. I don't understand that. Where are we getting this autism from? Girl, it's genetic. A simple Google search would tell you that. Please do not self-diagnose yourself. Please do not. Like, please, like, actually try to get yourself diagnosed, because I see so many people doing that. Like, an autistic person's, like, saying their experience and stuff like that, and then people are like, oh my god, I think I'm autistic. Oh my god, am I ADHD? I don't know. Like, girl, just go and get a diagnosis. Go to a psychiatrist. I don't know what to tell you. Go ask about it. Like, you know what I mean? Don't self-diagnose yourself from just watching TikToks, girl, because it could be that you just share some of those things, but it could be that you're not. That's all I wanted to say. This video was kind of long. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go build my puzzle table now, because I've been doing puzzles. I've been really into them recently, and I like them. They're fun, and they've been helping me like read more audiobooks and stuff, so more books are going to my reading list, and it's great, and I love it, and it's so fun. I gotta go, and I probably gotta redo my nails and stuff, because they're actually kind of like chipping and stuff, so that's why I actually have this lamp. And then I got UV gloves too, because I don't want to ruin my nails or ruin my hands. But yeah, so I gotta fix them because they're a little gross right now. You guys have any questions? Like, not about me, because why? But I don't know, if you're really someone that's like struggling or something and is diagnosed or isn't or whatever, wants to know, let me know. DM me on Instagram or something. I don't know, like, contact a girl, okay? Like, you're not alone in this. Like, you know, I really thought that I was all by myself, but I'm realizing there's way more people that are neurodivergent than I actually realized. So it's like, we're all out there, honey. All right, I have to go. Bye. I love you guys. Don't die. Drink water. And every day is, and be a princess. I don't know. Okay, bye.